Greetings to our melanated people all around the world. It's really a joy, a blessing, it's an honor to be out in nature, being well connected and reminiscing and the wealth and the wisdom of our ancestors and what they would have taught before slavery, and how in this time of enlightenment and awareness we are coming to know our true identity, our true spirituality, our true divinity. That's the reason why I want to speak to you concerning channeling Abdullah. And Abdullah was said to be the mentor or teacher of Neville Goddard, of whom many all around the world respect and hold very much highly. Some see him as a mystic, some see him as a philosopher, but I see my ancestor Abdullah as a mystic, as well as I see myself that way also, based on what I would have experienced in my life from a young man growing up. Now, the reason why I decided to make this channel is because one night I was under the high inspiration and leading and guidance of the creative power that is within me, that was connecting on a frequency that was leading me and directing me straight to our ancestor Abdullah. And I realized that I was channeling Abdullah, and that we had this ability in us long even before slavery, where we can actually channel our ancestors if we understand energy, vibration and frequency, and understand our true spirituality. That's the reason why Abdullah had to teach Neville Goddard the law of consciousness and teach him how to interpret the Bible psychologically. That's the reason why my brother and my sister always teach that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. That the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history. But many of our people believe that the Bible is literal and that the Bible is secular history, and they end up in idolatry and still worshiping a white idol that was given to them way back in the time of slavery. But now, they themselves, through their choice, are keeping themselves in mental slavery. But here am I, bringing a message of emancipation, because I was able to channel our ancestor Abdullah to let you know that he was teaching Neville Goddard this message, so that we will be able to understand the message of symbology, that we will be able to chase the footstep back to our spirituality, that we'll be able to improve our discernment, that we'll be able to uplift our whole self-esteem, knowing that a man who's esteemed all around the world and respected all around the world, that he was a student of a black man. That's the reason why Neville Goddard said that Abdullah was highly respected and he was always the guest of honor if he's been invited anywhere. And that he used to go and dine with our ancestor Abdullah, who was his mentor, his teacher. So my brother and my sisters, when you learn to channel the energy of Abdullah, you will realize that the law of consciousness is our birthright. You come to realize that the law of consciousness holds the secret to our power, authority and creativity. And if we will get into the right frequency, vibration and frequency, we'll be able to contact many of our ancestors. And we will be able to use our creativity to uplift humanity, just as Abdullah did. Because every time you hear the voice of Neville Goddard, whether they read the lectures in books, or whether they teach the message of consciousness or the law of attraction, because they were influenced by the work of Neville Goddard, of which all of that knowledge was given to him through our ancestor Abdullah, it must give us enough strength, enough faith to want to believe in ourselves and to embrace our ancestors and what they have lived for us as an example. Now, with that being said, I want to come to a close because the rain is coming. I have to have my camera being covered. Okay, so I'll come here to a close, but I want to say to you that if this message has been resonating with you and it makes sense to you, I would encourage you to like, comment, subscribe to this channel, and to also share this message of love, this message of self-realization, and this message of emancipation. Also, I want to encourage you to check out my book, The Black Mystic from Ethiopia, of which I've written long before I even start this channel. Okay, but it was through channeling Abdullah, as I would have said before, that I was inspired to tell of the life of Abdullah. So you're going to hear more and more messages coming across to you, where I'll be telling you the very life of Abdullah and what the message, right, that we are hearing concerning Neville Goddard really mean to us as a people, and how we have to embrace it and not get caught up in history or get caught up in Neville Goddard, but remember who is the teacher. Okay, now with that being said, I want to give you the sign of enlightenment, and I'm giving you the sign because of what I would have experienced. Because when I experienced the awakening, the eye, or the single eye in me, open, and then I get to understand you shall change from mortal to immortal in a twinkling of an eye. And I know that twinkling of an eye is when you actually awake from the dream of life, and you will ascend like a fiery being, and you will burst your crown chakra. And I'm speaking from experience. That's the reason why I always end by giving you the sign of the single eye and tell you that this message is the single eye message of self-realization. That's the reason why I always quote Matthew 6:22, which says, if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And I'm saying to you, my brother and my sisters, when you come to have that experience, you will come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N. And you will come to realize that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. Then you will understand why the scripture says in Malachi 4:2 that the sun, as in the S-U-N, shall arise in you with healing in his wings. Then you will also understand why Psalms 84:11 tells you that the Lord thy God is a S-U-N, a sun and a shield. And then you will understand that without the sun there is no life and there is no light, and that the light of the world is the S-U-N and not the S-O-N, where they refer to a man 2,000 years ago named Jesus Christ. And you will come to also realize that without the human imagination there isn't anything made that was made, and that the sun parallels the human imagination and the human imagination parallels the sun, and we are the people of the sun. Therefore, let us all be reminded how we must channel our ancestors, even our ancestor Abdullah, and learn to use our mind power to achieve our every desire. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you, I'm out.